And just like that, guys, everyone's left and I couldn't get my car started. I was getting no fuel pressure. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're in the garage and we're working on the JDM 110 Mark II. We've been having fuel pressure issues that almost left me stranded in Tauranga 3.5 hours away from home, man. We managed to get it home, did some diagnosing, and it looked like the relay block had got hot and the relay had burnt out. So we swapped that out. We got it to start, but now we can't get it to start again. So now we've got to diagnose it. We've got to get this thing moving, man. We've got events and car meets coming up. Let's get it. Guys, we're still having issues with the 110 and getting fuel pressure. Last week, we investigated the wiring. We found out that the relay for the link ECU had fried for the fuel pump. So we replaced the relay block, some of the wiring, and the relay itself. And she fired straight up. We moved the car in and out a couple of times. It was sweet. And then I thought I better test drive it before I take it down to Hampton Downs. And no go, back to no fuel pressure, couldn't hear the fuel pump priming. So now I'm going to check that wiring, make sure nothing's happened again, make sure it hasn't fried itself again, because we could have a bigger issue going on. Then I'm going to check the wiring to the fuel pump to see if we're getting what we need down there, to see whether it's a wiring issue or maybe, just maybe the fuel pump's died from all this as well, which could be something. So we're going to investigate, guys. We've got to get this car back running again, so let's get at it. Now that we got the dash apart, you can see the Link G4 ECU down there, and this is the fuel pump wiring here. We replaced that grey relay last week. So I'm going to check the wiring, check the relay block again to see if maybe the wiring was actually damaged. We just replaced what we thought needed replacing and it all seemed to work, so let's try again. All right, we'll give the key a turn and see if we can hear it turning on. Well, I can hear a relay clicking. It could be one of those relays, but I can definitely hear a relay clicking. Still can't hear the fuel pump priming though. So we're doing some investigating. Last week we found out that the relay block had been fried, and same with the relay. So we put a new relay block, we repinned it into a new block, and we put it into a new relay. I had a bit of a suspicion that maybe that was loose. We didn't push something in quite tight enough. So I've just had a look now and I've pushed everything back in tight. It is a little bit sloppy, so I think I might get another relay block, but we'll just see if this works. This is like step one. Next we're going to do the fuel pump wiring and check if we're getting power to the fuel pump. So fingers crossed, let's give it a start and see what happens. So after checking the relay, it looked like some of the wires were a bit loose, so we've pushed them back into the relay block and then made sure they're tight in the relay. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping this is going to work, otherwise we've got to move on and diagnose other things like the fuel pump wiring. Let's give it a start. Come on. Can hear a fuel pump. Oh. Man, oh, what a relief. I've been stressing over this all week. Sometimes it's the simplest things. We did a good repair, but sometimes things happen, man. I am so stoked. I think I'm going to replace the relay block just to be safe. Man, that is awesome. Simple things, man. I love it. And just like that, we got her to fire back into life. That is so good, guys. I'm stoked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repin the relay block now to make sure they're nice and tight, and then we should be good to go. Take it on a test drive, make sure we're good. We've got meets this weekend, man. We've got to keep this car moving. Now we're down at the shop. Which shop? Helensvile Mechanical Services. My boy Brent's going to help me out trying to get this car sorted. We're having all sorts of issues going on. We can't get fuel pressure. We're having relay issues. Let's start pulling the car apart and see what we can find out. So after playing with the relay and getting the car to start, we decided to replace the relay block because the terminals were loose in it. So we've done that, and then unfortunately the car wouldn't start again. So we've checked the ignition wiring to the ECU, and we've got power there. We've checked it to the fuel pump, we've got power there, but it's not triggering the ECU to make the fuel pump work. So next up, we think it's an output in the link. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug into the link, check that, and if that doesn't work, we're going to change the output in the link and tell the ECU to use a different output and see if we have any joy there. So after rechecking the relay and plugging into the link, we can see it's triggering the fuel pump. So now we're going to pull the fuel pump out and have a look and see what's going on there. So we pulled the fuel pump out, now we're going to pull it apart and see what's going on. Everything looks all right, but everything points to something being up with us, whether it's dying or whether it's on its way out, man. We're going to check this out. Now we got the pump out, We powered up the Dishworks pump to see if it would work. It works on the bench, so it's getting power, but we don't know if it's getting power all the time or if it's on its way out or something's going on with it, so we're investigating further. Just having a look at the hanger. We're going to resolder the connection because it looks a bit iffy. They use a crimp terminal, so we're going to solder that, put that back in, and fingers crossed this works. Also, while we're down the shop, I've decided I'm going to run wingless for a bit. Change up the look, man, change up the style. So we're swapping it back. When I put the wing together, I got a second boot lid, so swap it over and be good to roll. If you need a warrant of fitness, servicing or repairs on your car, talk to the team at Helensvile Mechanical Services. Not only will they look after you, but they'll look after your car and get you back on the road. It's alive. Wow, there was a lot of diagnosing and replacing, and man, there's a few things going on here, but it's alive. We got it to start. We'll do some test drives, make sure it's all good, but we think we're on top of it now. Man, diagnosing wiring is a pain in the butt, man. Far out. But thanks to the team at Helensville Mechanical Services, especially Brent for all the effort he's put into this, man. Couldn't have done it without you. So in the end, we ended up replacing the fuel pump, the fuel filter, the fuel pump relay block, and relay, and some of the wiring. So it had something to do with that. We're not entirely sure what exactly happened, but I feel like the fuel pump was dying and it got hot or something and fried all the wiring out. So we've replaced all that now. Basically, that whole system's been replaced now. Took it for a drive, man. It all feels good, man. The Mark II is back in action. Next up, it's the Skyline's turn to get some love. Let's get to work. While I've been working on the Mark II, the Skyline's also been out of action. While I was in Japan, the team at Helensville Mechanical Services rebuilt the power steering pump, fixed an oil and water leak, and gave the car a service. But when it was on the hoist, we also noticed that there was play in the drive shaft yoke. So we had to find parts to rebuild that. Unfortunately, the first one turned up and it wasn't right. Apparently this car runs the front half from a VL Turbo Commodore. So we sourced another one, got that back together, so now that's working mint. Took it for a drive and now it's breaking up, so it's a good excuse to change the plugs. And I bought some bits to dress up the engine bay. I'm doing a big transformation on the engine bay, so we're going to make a start on that today, add the first bits to the puzzle. While we're changing the spark plugs, it's time to change out the spark plug cover. This one's never done it for me. I ordered a fresh and clean one, man. First piece of the puzzle, let's get it. A little bit of measuring, a little bit of drilling, and this is what it looks like. This is going to look much better and full polished. It's got the vents in the front so the coils can still breathe and let that heat out of there. Man, let's get it all back together. And with a new cover fitted, woo! This is looking hot, man. You get a glimpse into the theme I'm going for here, kind of black, silver, chrome, real classic looking. This is the first part. We've got another part to chuck on now. Let's check it out. This one's from Tomy. I was trying to find a cool oil cap, and this one's in the shape of a piston. Saw it on another RB20, and I went, yep, that's the one, man. It looks sick. Let's chuck it on. And how good does that look with the Tomy piston oil cap on, man? It's starting to come together. I can't wait to pull these covers off and get them painted. We're doing a big tidy up in the engine bay. We're actually going to pull the motor too, just so we can re-gasket it, clean it up, and just give it the love it deserves, man. It's long overdue. Also now we've swapped the plugs out, so hopefully the misfire's gone. Man, I love it when I think ahead and pre-gap all the plugs. I normally take plugs to the track just in case something happens so I don't waste my day trying to fix stuff. So I pre-gap them, so that saved me some time, man. Stoked. And that's a wrap, guys. We managed to get both cars fixed, ready to hit the streets, and hitting summer meets, man. This was a bit of a different video, guys. I'm always working on my cars in the background. If you guys like to see videos like this, let me know in the comments. I love working on cars, man, and I'd love to bring you along for the journey, man. If you guys like this video, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and you know your boy will keep the content coming.